Pulisic's reaction to AC Milan rejecting a $10 million offer will leave you speechless. Christian Pulisic is standing on the biggest stage of his career, a home World Cup, his country's captain, and while he's been fighting through a calf injury just to stay on the pitch, something else has been happening behind the scenes. Somebody just tried to buy him, and AC Milan just said no. Today, we're breaking down exactly what happened, why it matters, and what it tells us about where Christian Pulisic's career goes next. Let's set the stage. Pulisic came into this World Cup as the face of the tournament for the United States. 84 caps, the most experienced attacker on the roster. The guy Pochettino built the whole attack around. And then in the opening match against Paraguay, disaster. He aggravates a lingering calf injury and gets pulled at halftime. That injury then knocks him out of the second group game entirely against Australia. He comes back for the third match against Turkey, but only gets 32 minutes off the bench. For a guy who's supposed to be the centerpiece of a home World Cup, that's a brutal opening stretch. 3 group games, and he's barely on the field for 1.5 of them. But here's the thing. Through all of that, his teammates never wavered on him. After the loss to Turkey, defender Sebastian Berhalter was asked directly about Pulisic's importance to the squad, and he made it clear the locker room still sees him as the guy they build around, hurt or not. Then July 1st arrives, round of 32, USA versus Bosnia and Herzegovina. And Pulisic is not just available, he's starting and he's wearing the captain's armband. He tells reporters he felt great in the previous match and that he was ready to go the distance. The USA wins. They're through to the knockout stage, and now they're set to face Belgium on July 6th in a rematch of a friendly where Belgium beat the US 5-2 back in March. So on the field, the story is redemption. Off the field, that's where things get interesting. While all of this injury drama is unfolding, a completely separate storyline is developing in Italy, and it's about Pulisic's future, not his fitness. According to Italian outlet Gazzetta dello Sport, Major League Soccer club New York City FC made a serious approach to sign Pulisic. We're talking about a reported annual salary offer in the range of $10 million, which would make him one of the highest paid players in MLS history if it happened. Now, before we go further, let's be clear about sourcing here because this matters. The salary figure is being reported by Italian media, not confirmed directly by NYCFC or Pulisic's camp. So treat that number as a strong report, not a verified fact carved in stone. What is confirmed through multiple outlets, including ESPN, citing their own sources, is that NYCFC made an actual approach. This wasn't just internet speculation. A real contact happened between the club and AC Milan, and AC Milan's answer was immediate, and it was firm. No. Sources told ESPN that Milan rejected the approach outright, stating in no uncertain terms that Pulisic is not available. Not let's talk, not make a better offer. A flat no. So why would a club in the middle of what's been described as turmoil? Milan missed out on Champions League qualification for a second straight year and cleared out much of their front office, turned down a 9 or 10 figure payday for one player? A few real reasons based on what's actually been reported. First, ownership. Milan owner Jerry Cardinale has reportedly made his stance on this clear. He wants to keep Pulisic along with the rest of his key attacking pieces as the club tries to rebuild. Second, and this is the detail almost nobody's talking about, Pulisic's contract situation isn't actually urgent. His deal runs through June 2027, and this is key, Milan holds a club option to extend it an additional year through 2028. That means Milan isn't staring down a sell him now or lose him for free deadline this summer. They have leverage and they have time, which makes the flat rejection make a lot more sense. Third, recent negotiations for a longer-term renewal, one that reportedly could stretch as far as 2031, have stalled. Italian press described it as, in their words, a great freeze between the club and Pulisic's camp. But here's the nuance. Nobody's reporting this as hostile. It's being framed more as neither side rushing, with real renewal talks expected to pick back up after the World Cup, not during it. Now let's talk about why Milan actually values him this much, because the case isn't just sentimental. Since arriving at Milan back in 2023, Pulisic has racked up 42 goals and 22 assists in 121 appearances. That's a genuinely elite return for a wide attacker in Serie A. But, and this is important for the fuller picture, his current season has been a step down. He scored 8 goals in 30 appearances this season, compared to 11 or more in each of his previous 2 seasons at the club. Some of that dip has been tied to a chronic bursitis issue that's disrupted his rhythm for stretches of the year. So you've got a player who is objectively one of Milan's most important attacking assets historically, coming off a down year, heading into a World Cup that could either reset his value upward with a big tournament or add more question marks if the injuries keep piling up. Which brings us to the other detail almost nobody's factoring in. Heading into the Bosnia match, Pulisic hadn't played a full 90 minutes for club or country in over 3 months. That's not a small footnote. That's a guy whose market value and whose leverage in a contract renewal is directly tied to how his body holds up over the next few weeks on the biggest stage of his life. So here's where we actually are based on everything that's confirmed. On the field, Pulisic is back, he's captain, and USA is through to face Belgium on July 6th. Off the field, Milan has drawn a hard line publicly. He's not for sale, not even for MLS money. Behind the scenes, there's also a genuinely new wrinkle worth watching. Milan recently brought in Massimo Calvelli as their new CEO, part of an effort the club has described as bringing a winning culture back. Any front office shakeup like that inevitably touches contract conversations for a player as central as Pulisic. And through all of it, Pulisic himself has said basically nothing about his future. Every public comment from him right now is about the World Cup, staying fit, being ready, enjoying being part of this team. Sources have indicated he's deliberately keeping his focus entirely on the tournament rather than engaging with any of the transfer noise, which honestly might be the most telling reaction of all. Not silence because there's nothing to say, silence because there's a decision coming and he's not making it in the middle of a home World Cup. So here's the real story. It's not that Pulisic exploded, and it's not that this is some dramatic ultimatum. It's quieter than that, and honestly, a little more interesting. A club fighting to hold on to its guy. A real offer, real money, a real rejection. And a player who's choosing to let his performances on the pitch do all the talking for now. The real conversation about his future starts the moment this World Cup ends. Until then, all eyes are on Monday, July 6th, USA versus Belgium. If you want us breaking down that game the second the final whistle blows, make sure you're subscribed. We'll see you then.